everyone, and welcome to another episode of Straight Fire Picks. Best bets for NFL Week 10 on Sunday, November 14th, 2021. My name is Steve, and we're going to have 5 picks here for you today that I think are great value bets for this Week 10 NFL slate. As always, just want to thank you all for your continued support in the channel. If you are new to the channel here today, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We're trying to reach 900 subscribers here by the end of the week. Also, be sure to check out our community Discord page. It's a great place to connect with our community. I'll have a link in the comment section and in the description as well to that. Also, be sure to place your favorite pick down below for this week. If you'd like it included in our comment capper section, just put a star or an asterisk next to your pick so I know what your official pick is, and we'll include it in the video if it hits. Okay, and without further ado, getting into the results from the previous week. So for our comment cappers for last NFL Sunday, we had Gotta Get the Bag calling the Dallas Cowboys team total under 30.5 points. Minus 115 odds was able to cash that. Great call again from Gotta Get the Bag. And then we had Gloria K make it 2 call-outs that both hit, so I gotta respect it. The Bills and the Chiefs games under, and both of these cashed very comfortably. 15 points in the Bills game, 20 points in the Chiefs game. So very nice hits there for Gloria K. As far as our stream results went, 3-2. So it was a winning week, a very solid week. We were able to cash both of our under bets on the player props there. The under for Dak Prescott pass yards. He did not have a great day. And that was kind of a bit to be expected. You know, he was coming off an injury. A little bit of rust issues there. Coming into that game, there's definitely some good data on that. And then the under for Josh Jacobs rush attempts was just able to cash this one as well. Also a good hit on that one. And then we also cashed the Green Bay Packers plus 7.5 spread. So I was very happy with that as well. And then we missed on the Buffalo Bills spread. We had a minus 14 Bills spread, and they just laid an egg. They lost outright to the Jags. I mean, it was just one of the really weird weekend in the NFL last week. I was honestly happy to survive it with as good as we did, just because of how wonky the week was. And then we missed on the Jamar Chase over for receiving yards. He had some catches. He had about 50 yards receiving, but what can he do? We're going to get after this week, though. We're going to get that 5-0. So getting right into our picks. At number 1, we are going with the under 27.5 points here in the first half of the Atlanta Falcons-Dallas Cowboys game at minus 105 odds. So this is the biggest over-under for first halves so far this week. This line has cashed in 7 of 8 Cowboys games so far on the season. And it's cashed in 6 of 8 Falcons games on the season. So 13 out of 16 times the first half total does not go above 27.5 between the Falcons and Cowboys. So it's obviously very good. Of course, you got to always consider your matchup. This is obviously a matchup of 2 offenses that are a little bit more capable. But coming in here, we got some issues. For Dallas, you got Dak Prescott still coming up off that injury. We talked about how he looked rusty, coming back off it. He did. He was 19 out of 39, was not very good last week against Denver. Will he be better? Possibly. But do I think this is going to be something where there's just a lot of scoring going on here early in the game? I could see this being a slow start to the game as well. Atlanta actually on the road is 3rd best in first half points allowed on the road in the first half. So that's obviously significant. They're 7th overall in first half points allowed. So that's obviously very solid there as well. Dallas, not quite as good. Dallas 17th at home in first half points allowed and 25th overall in first half points allowed. So it's obviously not great. But Dallas' defense has also improved over the season. We saw them play very good against the Vikings here recently. Against Denver, obviously not their finest hour there at home last week against Denver. But I think they're a little bit more capable. Despite the injury to Gregory, I know they had an injury there to Gregory, the defensive end. Obviously, that's not great. But I still think, against the average at best offense here in Atlanta 20th in total yards and 21st in scoring offense. So, they're going up against an offense here that really doesn't scare you. With Calvin Ridley being out, I think the Cowboys can hold them down enough. I think this game will be a little bit more low scoring than people expect. Probably going to be a lot of people hammering this over just because of, Matt Ryan, Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott. You're going to think of all the big names, like, oh, there's going to be a lot of scoring. But I foresee at least this game early on being a little bit more low scoring. So I'm loving this first half under, guys. It's one of the bigger ones. Like I said, it's the biggest one of the week. The biggest as far as how many points on the under. Like I said, Dak, rusty, right? 19 of 39 last week, under 50%. Looking for some of that to continue. I realize he's probably not going to be quite that rusty, but like I said, this is just too high of a first half total for me. And both defenses, improved. Definitely over last year. They scored a ton of points when they met last year, obviously, in Dallas, but I don't see that as the case this year. Both defenses are better since that game last year. Falcons 17th overall in total defense. Cowboys 21st in total defense. Cowboys 18th in scoring defense. Atlanta 28th in scoring defense. Now the 28th in scoring defense isn't very good, obviously, but I think overall I've seen a lot better things out of the Atlanta defense here the last couple weeks. What they did down in New Orleans, holding the Saints to 3 points after 3 quarters, and the game that they played against the Panthers the week before that. So I love it there for our number one pick. Under 27.5 points in the first half of the Atlanta Falcons Dallas Cowboys game at minus 105 odds. Okay, and at number 2, we are going with the Tennessee Titans minus 2.5 spread here versus the New Orleans Saints at minus 118 odds. So we got quarterback questions here coming into this game for the Saints. You got Trevor Siemian leading the Saints at quarterback. Just not all that confident in him, honestly. We saw what he could do last week, and it wasn't great. Saints had 3 points, like we just talked about in the previous pick. 3 points after 3 quarters there versus Atlanta before, garbage time kind of opened up. It was a blowout, and obviously Saints came back, took the lead. But we see that happen a lot in games. But the overarching theme of the game was they were having a lot of trouble against that Falcons defense. So, coming in here playing a red-hot Titans team. I know they're without Derrick Henry, but I think the Titans proved you something last week. Went on the road at L.A. without Derrick Henry against one of the best teams in all football and laid it on the Rams. Dominated that game, really, start to finish on the defensive side, which was kind of surprising to see. The Titans, early on in the season were really struggling defensively, and they've gotten better, it seems, each week. They held the Chiefs to 3 points. Like I said, last week against the Rams, they really held down Stafford, generated turnovers, were just flying all over the place. So in this game against the Saints, I'm expecting really the same thing. The last 4 weeks, the Titans have had wins over the Bills, the Chiefs, the Colts, and the Rams. So they beat 4 very good teams. And, defense on the season ranking 8th in rushing yards allowed per game, and this is the right matchup for him. They're going up against Alvin Kamara, so if they could stifle him, the Saints really don't have any chance. Saints aren't going to beat the Titans with Trevor Siemian throwing the ball over the yard. It's just not going to work. Especially if they can make Matthew Stafford look pedestrian, they're going to make Trevor Siemian look really bad. Honestly, that's what I'm expecting. The Saints are a solid defense, right? Very good run defense. So I don't think that really hurts the Titans because the Titans don't really have a running game anyway. They have to throw the football at this point. With Tannehill, Julio Jones, A.J. Brown. And I love that matchup. The Saints secondary ranks 27th in pass defense. So it's like I said, it's the right matchups here for the Titans because they're not going to really run the ball effectively anyway. You're going to rely on Adrian Peterson at, 36, 37 years of age to pile up 100 yards for you? No, of course they're not going to do that. Titans are going to be throwing the football, and they should be this game, absolutely. A lot of teams have had success against the Saints doing that, so I look for that to happen. And honestly, I look for the Titans to defend home field here. I think it's just a great line for the home team that's just been playing great. Like I said, no Derrick Henry, but I don't think they'll need him. So take it there for your number 2 pick. Tennessee Titans minus 2.5 spread here versus the New Orleans Saints at minus 118 odds. Okay, and at number 3, we are going with P.J. Walker under 205.5 pass yards here at minus 113 odds. So here we go again this week, guys, attacking the unders. They're profitable, so that's what we're going to do. P.J. Walker coming into this game, if I read you his stat line, you're going to cringe. 401 career passing yards, 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions, 49.3% completions. That is not good at all. That is just not going to get it done at the NFL level, obviously. Very inexperienced going into a tough road environment against a great team that's going to be arguably competing for a Super Bowl here in the Arizona Cardinals. So Cardinals coming into this game 6th best against the pass, so it's not a good matchup for Walker at all. 209.9 yards allowed per game in the passing game now for the Cardinals. And, we also have this thing going on where Cam Newton is also back in town for the Panthers. So is there a possibility that P.J. Walker could get pulled at times during this game and Cam could get some looks? He could. I mean, if Cam Newton has a good, comes in, plays a couple good snaps, gets some things done, they might switch over to just Cam Newton. I can honestly see that happening. Despite, just being traded, or being not traded, just picked up this week. I can honestly see that happening. Matt Rule said, or rather Joe Brady said, the offensive coordinator, nothing is off the table with Cam Newton. So you got to take a little bit of that to the bank and say, you know what, we might see some Cam Newton, and I'll just take snaps away from Walker. And if that's the case, like I said, that's going to be very good for our bet, obviously. Anytime we're taking snaps away from the quarterback. So even if it doesn't work out that way, it's still fine. I'm still very comfortable with this under because I think P.J. Walker is just going to have a really hard time against a great defense. Just doesn't have the experience. He's going to probably look to run the ball more. He's going to be relying heavily on Christian McCaffrey. And I think it's just going to be a miserable day for the Panthers. I really do. Cardinals are also 3-1 to this line at home as far as the under passing yards, which is very impressive when you think about it. They held Aaron Rodgers under this line. They can hold Aaron Rodgers under this line. They can hold P.J. Walker under this line as well. It's just going to be a tough day for him. So take it there for your number 3 pick. P.J. Walker under 205.5 pass yards here for the Panthers at minus 113 odds. Okay, and at number 4, we are going with Kirk Cousins under 267.5 passing yards here for the Minnesota Vikings at minus 113 odds. So this is not a great matchup, obviously, for Cousins. The Chargers are 3rd best against the pass on the year, allowing just 197 yards passing per game, so that's very good. Cousins is 4-4 to this line on the season, and 2-0 in the last 2 weeks that he's gone under. So obviously I love seeing that. He's not exactly hot to this line and not drawing a great matchup either. Last week against the Ravens, he actually went under 200 yards passing, so I love seeing that. And this is going to be a game where I think you're going to see a lot of Dalvin Cook. If you want to look at Dalvin Cook's over also for rushing yards, I think that's a solid bet. Chargers are one of the worst run defenses in all of football, so it means we should be seeing a lot of Dalvin Cook on the ground if the Vikings are smart. A lot of opportunities for him. And he's obviously very good, right? Dalvin Cook, one of the best backs in the league, so it would just make sense for them to rely heavily on him. And the Chargers on the season have held quarterbacks to this under in 7 out of 8 games. So that's obviously very good. That also includes Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes in there as well. So I love seeing all those factors, guys. I just think this is a great favorable line here. I think the line's up a little bit too high here for Kirk Cousins. So take it there for your number 4 pick. Kirk Cousins under 267.5 passing yards here for the Vikings at minus 113 odds. Okay, and at number 5, we're going with Cole Beasley over 49.5 receiving yards here for the Buffalo Bills at minus 115 odds. This one we got off of DraftKings. So, last 3 weeks, Cole Beasley has 25 catches, 231 yards, and 33 targets his last 3 weeks. So, he has been Allen's most trusted target, at least the last 3 weeks. He's become a lot more comfortable with him here recently. And this is a solid matchup again for Cole Beasley. Jets are 3rd worst against the pass. So that is obviously not very good. They allow over 270 yards passing per game. And a lot of the stuff that the Jets give up is underneath. They actually don't give up like as much to wide receivers as you'd think. But you got to pick the right wide receiver. So Cole Beasley works a lot of the shorter routes, which is where the Jets actually have more of the problems. They struggle, the running backs, to tight ends, and to like these intermediary wide receiver routes. So they don't necessarily give up like the big plays down the field as much, but they give up a lot of yards to running backs. They give up a lot of yards to tight ends, and they give up a lot of yards to, like I said, these intermediary routes, which is where Cole Beasley runs. Cole Beasley doesn't run, 30 yards down the field like Diggs and Sanders will do. So this is why I really love Beasley in this matchup. I think it's a great matchup. And like I said, this does this does have correlative history also as far as his games versus the Jets. Last year, Cole Beasley, 19 targets, 15 catches, 170 yards versus the Jets. That's 85 yards per game in 2 games versus the Jets. So, obviously, I like seeing that. I think it gives us a big edge here. And like I said, with the momentum that Beasley's rolling into this game with over the last 3 weeks, it's also very good. Like I said, Bill's most reliable target the last 3 weeks. So I love it there for our number 5 pick. Cole Beasley over 49.5 receiving yards here for the Bills at minus 115 odds. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for our picks. If you enjoyed the content, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We're trying to reach 900 subscribers here by the end of the week. Also, be sure to check out our Discord page. It's a great place to connect with our community. Other than that, guys, that's going to do it for me. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you next time. Peace out.